Let's turn to soccer now. As if he doesn't have enough records to his name, Cristiano Ronaldo this week became the top goal scorer in all 5 European leagues. The tally of 368 goals came in the match against Celta Vigo last week, which they won 4-2. If Real Madrid ends the season with both the Champions League and La Liga titles, Ronaldo will be the favorite to win the prestigious FIFA award, the Ballon d'Or. We will discuss this week Ronaldo's magic. Also, we want to talk about a year of great success for Monaco, one of Europe's smallest clubs. They made it to the semi-finals of the Champions League, as well as winning their domestic French league title. On Thursday, Monaco ended Paris Saint-Germain's bid for 5 League One titles in a row by sealing the title themselves with a 2-0 win over Saint-Etienne. The question now is, can Monaco keep their young stars intact, or will they lose them to the big spending clubs this coming summer? Those 2 issues are up for debate as we welcome in our panelists, Gal Benkiki and Hamid Mark. Now, it's been a great year for Monaco. What is the #1 reason that they've been so successful this season?
Well, there's 2 reasons. Falcao is almost back to his best, and Kylian Mbappe, who has scored 24 goals in all competition. I think those, when you have forwards that are scoring that many goals and winning you games, that helps your team a lot better. And obviously you have the young midfielders like Bernardo Silva and Bakayoko who are running this team like a well-oiled machine, and they're young, so they have legs. They're running back and forth more than any other team. So I think it's just a combination of things that made them have a season that they have now. It's just that can they keep that combination for next season?
I think you can add a third reason. Paris Saint-Germain's inconsistencies and their new coach. The fact that they had a new coach this season, you always have to have assimilations. Chelsea obviously assimilated quickly, but we've talked about it last week. The Premier League was a lot more watered down. The reality is PSG more of let go than anything. Their beginning to the season was horrendous.
Yeah,
they weren't. I'm not even sure if they were in the top 10 for like the first 3 weeks.
They started off pretty bad. They cashed up mid-season, but
right, and it was kind of like Leicester last year. They were expecting, we're gonna catch up. Monaco wasn't letting go. Monaco, yes, it's Kylian Mbappe is 18 years old. The last time they won a league was when he was 1 year old. But the reality is, Monaco with that youth, they didn't know what it was PSG constantly winning. So they're imagining, we can win, we can do this. We don't have to believe in Paris Saint-Germain.
They ended their 4-title streak.
Exactly. Well, that's because Zlatan isn't there, obviously.
That's true. Zlatan is.
But that's the reality. The Monaco side had great youth that didn't know any better than to just go and play. And they played and they won.
And I'm pretty sure that's what the coach told them. It's like, you're young, we don't expect to win anything anyway. Just go out there and have fun, play your game, and score goals.
Now here comes the big question. I mean, expectations are up here. Can they replicate this next season?
That's the big question, especially for someone like Kylian Mbappe. A striker can have a season like he did now and score that goal, but whether you do it constantly. Like Harry Kane, there was questions when he scored 20 goals in his debut season and he's still doing it.
But he was older. He was 21. By that time, you're already more of an established first-team player.
But I personally think they could do it again, but they have to keep the squad. Now,
but that's the biggest problem, because you think about it, in Europe, it's not like in sports where there's an association for it. The soccer teams are a business. In the reality, in the end, it depends whether the owner wants to make money off selling these players or whether he wants success for the team. Just a second. Because the reality is, if they want to build Monaco into a superpower, they have to keep them. Even if they offer 150 million for Mbappe, they have to say no. They have to build, which means keep these guys and bring in more people. Because the reality is, who doesn't want to go live in Monaco?
Yeah, well, you said it as a business. Businesses are about investment. Invest in the youth that you have. You may get your quick 100 million euros for each of them, but at the end of the road, you're finishing 5th, 6th. You're not competing in Champions League. Competing in Champions League and winning the league, that gets you money. It gets your brand. It brings up your brand. More people are buying your jerseys. There's more sales of your big players. You get more money in general. So
it's up to the owner.
Basically, they'll all be gone to Manchester United.
Real
Madrid, Barcelona. Okay, a player who's not going anywhere is Cristiano Ronaldo.
We don't know that.
Well, going anywhere in terms of playing. I mean, he's cemented his legacy, hasn't he? 368 goals. Does it get any better than this?
Well, I mean, Ronaldo is always going to be the top two best player in the world.
It's called getting the Ballon d'Or this year.
Yeah, and
so you can match Messi.
I want to remember that in this league, he had 28 appearances. It's a 38 game season, and he scored 24 goals in 28 appearances. So he's been rested for 10 games. So you could basically could double that.
Games.
Yeah, especially like LeBron James. You could double that if he played those 10 games. So Ronaldo, he's always prided himself on being the best player, and obviously Messi kind of ruining his career.
I think the reality is, I think when you really look at his legacy, he's a model for what hard work gets you. Because he came into Manchester a skinny little boy, and he left Manchester a grown man that can do what he wants on the field. So I think in terms of his legacy, he has to be top 5, if not the greatest of all time.
But between Messi and Ronaldo, is this debate kind of over?
I'll take
Never.
They
won't be over for the next 10 years.
I'll take Messi any day of the week. But we're talking about season.
Listen, there's another debate. There's a debate of Pele Maradona. That's still here today.
Yeah. Yeah.
This isn't going away anytime soon.
But any separation there from this week's
Well, now that
achievements?
Messi moved to the right wing, no, there isn't separation.
Yeah, this case.
Okay.
Yeah. No, there's no separation.
Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We will take a quick break. When we come back, Hamid will be back to talk about a fusion of sports, boxing and MMA. We'll be back.